Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us at 6.
We're going to begin this evening with some breaking news in Anderson County.
Search crews have found the teenager who went missing over the weekend. LEX 18's Conroy DeLuce joins us live with this update.
Well, the mood here in Lawrenceburg is relief and a sense of jubilation because he has been found. Alexander Strayer has been found, and he's safe, and he's coming back to Anderson County. We don't know many details at this point. We just talked to the fire chief a few minutes ago. As we finished editing our 6 o'clock story, we actually heard a huge roar of applause coming from the room where the volunteers were being debriefed after searching all day. They were about to call off the operation and turn it over to police when suddenly they heard that he was found about 15 miles away from here in Mercer County in a small restaurant called Country Inn off of Highway 127. We have heard that the Mercer County Sheriff's Office has Alexander. They are bringing him to the county line where they will be meeting the Lawrenceburg Police Department, who will then bring him back to Lawrenceburg. And his parents, they were in that room as well when they heard the news. They were relieved as well. You could see the sense of just on their faces as they have waited and hoped for good news. And now Alexander is coming home. We'll have more on the story coming up on Evening Edition. Covering the news live in Anderson County from the LEX 18 Mobile Newsroom. Back to you.
A very unusual find by a worker leads to a mystery for Lexington police as they try to track down the owner of this urn. Jacqueline
Nye is live in Lexington with tonight's LEX 18 Big Story at 6.
Nancy, Kevin, now the urn does have ashes in it, and it was found in a small blue velvet box. Now the Lexington Police Department says a worker was cleaning out a car at an auto auction center and found the small urn inside the car. Now police say the worker isn't positive which vehicle the urn was found in, so it is a possibility that it could have come from out of state. Investigators are relying on social media and help from the Fayette County coroner to identify the owner. The small urn features blue flowers, white doves, and gold trim.
There's a little stand that comes with it that sits on, so that'll make it about 3.5, but it's about 3 inches tall, maybe 2 inches wide.
If you have any information on who the owner of the urn is, you're asked to call Lexington Police. Covering the news live in Lexington from the LEX 18 Mobile Newsroom, back to you.
To an LEX 18 news update about the Boyle County teen charged in connection with the murder of her stepmother back in 2016. Jenna Oakley could spend 15 years in prison after pleading guilty to first-degree manslaughter and theft of more than $10,000 in connection with the death of Rhonda Oakley. Police say Jenna and her boyfriend, Kenneth Nye, took off in Rhonda's car after the killing. They were eventually found in New Mexico, and Nye killed himself in jail. Jenna Oakley will be formally sentenced in February.
We're following developing news as well tonight involving pertussis. According to the Lexington Fayette County Health Department, a case of pertussis has been confirmed at Tates Creek High School. The illness, known as whooping cough, is the first confirmed case in the city this year.
It's been a gray and cloudy day, damp certainly feeling out there, the cold, the rawness. Well, it's not going to change a whole lot as we go through tonight. That's your Kentucky One Health weather bug camera or at Bluegrass Community Technical College on the UK campus. And there might be a little patch of drizzle, maybe a little freezing drizzle out there, but for the most part, Max Track Live Doppler now quiet. Our future track through the night will continue to keep the clouds around, maybe some thinner spots, but don't expect those to last long. There's a lot of moisture just kind of trapped here in the lower levels of the atmosphere, and we're just kind of stuck in it for a while. Your day tomorrow will eventually see the sun work its way back out, but it may take into the afternoon before a lot of us begin to see that. It is a cold, raw feel out there. We've dropped down to 30 in Lexington, same in Frankfort, same in Mount Sterling and Moorhead, same in Richmond for that, and Danville as long as we're at it. Freezing now, Somerset, London, and Williamsburg. Bottom line, it's just kind of cold. You're looking at your morning tomorrow. We start out in the mid-20s with clouds. Clouds will hold tough through lunchtime, but some sunshine should eventually emerge. Temperatures don't respond a lot. It'll change some later this week. We'll talk about that in a minute.
All right, Bill, thanks.
A Harrison County family is desperately trying to find a missing mother tonight.
Family members tell us Emily Wade disappeared in North Texas on January 5th. She recently moved there from Kentucky. Kylan Mills is here with the details.
Kevin, Nancy, family members are obviously worried sick tonight. They tell me Emily Wade has a 7-year-old daughter and she never would have left her little girl. They say whatever happened to her or wherever she went was not on her own accord.
Getting Emily home is everything.
A Harrison County family brokenhearted and baffled tonight. They say Emily Wade has seemingly vanished without a trace.
It's just shock. You're kind of in shock because you see these things, but you really don't think of them happening.
Emily's aunt Jamie Snap tells us Emily had a 7-year-old daughter. She moved to Ennis, Texas to be closer to the family of her daughter's father. She was last seen at a coworker's house there on January 5th.
The last report is that she left the friend's house at 8:30 and was heading home. And that's where we have the gap. That's where we have no answers, no clues.
In the days that followed, no sign of Emily or her Nissan Altima, and we're told there's been no activity from her bank or cell phone. Snap says she never would have voluntarily left her family behind.
Her daughter is her life. We know that she would be with her if she could be.
While rescue crews and volunteers scour Ennis and surrounding areas, Emily's family says they hold on to hope. The hope that Emily will soon come home.
We're a strong family of faith. We believe in prayer. We're asking for, our church community, for our family members to pray and for her rescue.
Emily's family tells us the coworker who last saw her is cooperating with police. They say her daughter's father is also cooperating and helping in the search. Back to you.
Thanks, Kylan. The race for Kentucky's highest office is getting a little more crowded. William Woods has filed to run for governor on the Republican side. Justin Miller will run for lieutenant governor alongside Woods. According to his website, Woods believes that the era of big business will come to an end. He says he will push for a lean government, cuts to executive pay, and non-essential programs. Woods joins Robert Goforth in the Republican race. Governor Matt Bevin has also announced he will run for re-election.
The government shutdown is nearing day 25, the longest in history, and many federal workers say they are not going to take it lying down.
Earlier today, LEX 18's Claire Crouch caught up with some protesters outside Senator Mitch McConnell's Lexington office, and they are demanding he take action.
TSA, FBI, Border Patrol, nobody's getting paid that protects this country right now.
From the mouths of federal workers, hopefully to the ears of their lawmakers.
The people making these decisions are getting paid to go to work every day, and we're going to work in a hazardous environment, and we're not getting paid for it.
Their frustration spilling out into the cold in front of Senator Mitch McConnell's Lexington office, demanding action. These Federal Bureau of Prisons workers traveled as far as Inez and Manchester after not receiving paychecks for the work they do in Kentucky's 5 institutions.
All we're asking to do is pay us for the work we do.
In the same boat are TSA workers. Staffing shortages across the country are starting to manifest themselves in long lines and even some terminal closures in cities like Houston and Miami. Not even their media hotlines are operating.
Due to the lapse in federal funding, we are currently unable to answer your phone call.
The TSA reports an unplanned absence rate today of 7.6%. That's up more than 3% from this time last year. But despite all that, here in Lexington, Bluegrass Airport remains fully staffed, and the TSA says passenger safety remains uncompromised. Those words hardly comforting, though, for the men and women literally left out in the cold, wondering how long this historic shutdown will last.
I hope we see an end today. That's what needs to happen.
Covering the news in Lexington, Claire Crouch, LEX 18 News.
We reached out to Senator Mitch McConnell this afternoon, and he sent us a statement. We all know what is necessary to move past the funding impasse, a negotiated solution that can pass the House, earn 60 votes in the Senate, and which invests enough in border security to earn the president's signature. Last Friday marked the first missed paycheck federal workers the federal workers' first missed paycheck, I should say, because of the government shutdown.
As the days go on, people could turn to alternative ways to pay the bills, and that could make them easy targets for scammers. LEX 18's Carolina Buchek reports.
Stop the shutdown now!
Protesters around the country want their paychecks.
A lot of people are starting to feel the financial pinch and not having that paycheck.
No paycheck, but plenty of bills to pay. The Better Business Bureau says that is a bad combination that could lead to scammers taking advantage of people in a bad situation.
We fear that could make some of them more susceptible to scams that are out there every day.
As people look to pick up some side work, experts warn that scammers could end up costing you more money.
We hear daily from people who have posted on job search sites that are legitimate sites looking for work and get contacted by con artists who want them to work at home processing packages, processing payments to their other customers in the United States, things of that nature that require you to use your own bank account.
Short-term loans and social media are another way people could get scammed. So how do you avoid this? Experts say follow your gut. If you think something is too good to be true, it probably is.
Don't let your desperation to bring a little more money into the house cause you to fall for one of these scams and then ultimately end up with a bigger problem than you started with.
Covering the news, Carolina Buchek, LEX 18 News.
Still ahead, a bad start to the new year after a woman's cell phone was stolen while she was celebrating the beginning of 2019.
And now the search is on for the thief who was caught on camera. That's coming up in tonight's LEX 18 Crime Stoppers.